Hi there. Welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Josh Mansfield. I am a teacher here with the Demon and the producer of the podcast. Joining me today is Demon team member Nate. Nate, coming on to tell your story. Super excited to have you on. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to tell my story and talk about some of the stuff that I went through and that helped me out to get to my goal score and maybe help somebody else out.
Yeah, awesome. Super excited. Tell me, what exactly do you all do for the Demon?
I am on the Ask Button team, so I
Okay.
respond to Ask Button questions.
Yep.
I'm on the tutoring team. I have students that I meet face to face with, and I actually am helping Abby with Crushing 1L, creating that curriculum
Awesome.
right now. Just doing
Awesome.
some edits and stuff.
Sweet. So already jumped in with a lot of hats at the Demon. I feel like it's unavoidable, right? We all do a lot of things. I love it.
Yep. Actually, I TA'd a class for you too.
That's
so
right.
I
We did the free
TA
class.
occasionally.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Great. Well, Nate, I want to start first and foremost. What did you score on the LSAT?
I got a 174 on my most recent test.
The best number. It's also what I got. So that's great. Okay. Well, I'd like to start at the beginning then. And I want to know, when did you decide you were taking the LSAT? When did you decide on law school?
Okay, yeah. So I graduated in the spring of 24
Okay.
with my degree in HR, Human Resources.
Okay.
And I came out of school and I went to work in Human Resources, and I figured I'd just work that career and keep going and work my way up. And very shortly after getting into it, I was like, okay, I don't want to work my way up. I would like to fast track this process. And so I started talking to a professor of mine, and I was like, okay, can I get an accounting degree? Like, can I go get my CPA right now? Like, I'm pretty decent at taking tests. I think I could, like, take my CPA, or should I, like, try to do a master's degree, or what is going to help me the most? And he looked at me and he was like, go to law school. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, right. Like, I'm just going to, sure, I'll go to law school, right? That didn't really help me very much. So then I disregarded that information, and I kind of started talking to people, like my accounting professors and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, no, you got to get like X amount of credits and then like work for an accountant and do all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking, well, I don't actually want to do accounting that bad. I kind of just wanted the letters behind my name to make me look better. And so I started working like my full-time job. I was in labor and employee relations at a Navy base.
Okay.
And
Are you in the military?
no,
No,
I was a
okay.
civilian contractor.
Civilian. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I was working there, and the law adjacent parts of my job I kind of enjoyed, or either so just the like when there's rules to certain things, especially in the government,
Yeah.
and you have to follow them to the T, and there's slight little nuances where situations come up and you're not really sure how to handle it, and then you have to dig into the written statutes and whatnot and like figure out how exactly do we handle this. And I started enjoying that quite a bit. And so then I started talking to my professor again. I was like, well, what is this like? What's the deal with law school? And he was like, you can go to law school for free. Like, they will pay you to go to law school if you do well enough on this test. And like, I know you can because you're a good test taker. And I was like, okay, well, there's no way that's true. Like, why would anyone pay me to go to law school?
Sure. So real quick, where did you do your undergraduate at?
It's a little NAIA university. It's Indiana Tech University in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I wrestled in college, so I was wrestling there.
Man, shout out to your professor, because we hear all sorts of horror stories of professors and pre-law advisors who are like, "Oh, just don't worry about taking the LSAT again. Like, you're gonna be paying for law school anyway. Like, there are plenty of loans." I don't think it's very often that we have those that come out and are like, "Oh no, just go for free."
Oh, he's the man. They have there's a day in Fort Wayne that's Dr. Wall's Day. No, he just
Oh my
retired.
gosh,
Yeah.
are you serious?
I'm not joking.
So how big is Fort Wayne?
Second biggest city in Indiana.
So hold on, I want to know about, how did he get his own day? How did this
He's just
happen?
the man. Like, everybody in this city knows who he is. He knows everybody else. He's been a professor at this school for 30 something years, got like all kinds of degrees and certifications and everything you could have. Actually, so I'm a Society for Human Resource Management certified professional. That's like the certification company for HR. He, when we go to the conferences, Johnny C. Taylor, he's actually a JD who's the CEO of SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management. He like speaks to Congress on behalf of HR as a
For employment rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
He is good friends with Dr. Walls. So I've actually met that guy and like shaking his hand, and we get to go backstage and talk to him and stuff like that.
So Dr. Walls really is the man.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a big deal in like HR communities. Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so Dr. Walls says, no, go to law school for free. You're like, all right, Walls, it's official. You've lost it. This is too far. There's no way. What happens next?
I started looking it up, and I like one of the first videos I found was a demon video. It just so happened to be, and they're just screaming like, "You can go to law school for free," basically.
What? No, Ben and Nate
And
yelling about going to law school for free.
Yeah, I know. So then I figured, all right, well, I'll just dump some cash into this, and I'll see if I can get a good enough score, and if I do, then I'll go for free. But if not, like, I'm not committed enough to pay for it, really.
When is this time? When are you starting to do the studying?
This would be October of last year.
Okay, October
So
of last year.
I had a job for like 6-ish months.
Okay. So you're 6 months graduated. You're working. Walls has put you on this path. You decide you're going to see what you can do with the LSAT. You start studying. When do you take the test?
My first test is in February of 25.
Okay, and how'd that go?
I got a 168 on that test.
Okay. Was that
But
where you were scoring? Was that underperformance?
that was right on par with what I should have done. I had assumed after taking the test and by looking at my practice scores, it would be about 68 to 71 or
Okay.
67 to 71.
Okay.
So it was right in that range, and I was kind of hoping for a 170. Like I figured I won't take the test again if I get a 170. Like
Oh, okay.
that's
So
where
that was
my
your
cutoff
line. That's
is.
like once you get it,
Yeah.
you're good with the 170.
Yeah, because everybody was like, "Oh, 170, like that's such a good score or whatever." Whenever you're first getting, I don't know,
Mhm.
first start looking at it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, I won't take it again." And I actually offered that advice. I was talking to a student just yesterday
Perfect. Yeah.
who got a 169, who also was saying like, oh, "I'm kind of upset with this," as I was, and I was like, "Yeah, but just imagine if you'd got that 170 and you didn't take the test again." And next time you take the test, you're probably going to get a 173 or a 174, and you wouldn't have had those extra LSAT points. So it actually was a blessing in disguise, even though I was kind of upset in the moment.
Sure, that makes sense. So February's done. You get your 168. A little bit upset, but you decide you're taking it again. When did you take it next?
April.
Take it in April. Is that your
Of this year.
174?
April was my 174.
That's your 174, and that's when you said, "I'm hanging it up." Or are you taking it again?
Well, I mean, I was scoring 73 to 79 on my practice test,
So
so I've considered taking it again.
Okay.
But I was getting tired of it a little bit.
Sure.
Just with, I was still working my job, and I'm also a coach, and I'm also training to wrestle again this fall. So there was just a lot on my plate, and I was
Okay.
like,
So nice to be done with the studying.
yeah.
Okay.
It was just a lot of extra going on.
Yeah. Before we go a little bit more into that 174, I want to divert real fast. You said you're training to wrestle again.
Yeah, so I figured I got to quit my job anyways,
Okay.
and I work remotely for the Demon now, so why
Right.
not just go back to school? I have 2 years of eligibility left. Might as well go try to win a national title.
So you're going back to school for the sole purpose of winning a national title in wrestling.
Yeah.
Good for you. That's
the
so
goal.
cool. Are you going back to the same school?
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, congratulations. That's really neat.
Yeah. Just have to take an online class and go to practice.
That's all right. I love it. What online class are you taking? Is it with Dr. Walls?
No, he unfortunately retired. It'll be I don't know, whatever
Something.
they got.
Yeah. Okay. Big thing I was asking is if it was going to be with Dr. Walls or not. So.
No, I'll hang out with him though. He'll be
All right.
around.
Nice. Okay, so the 174. When you think about your study journey, I guess I didn't ask. What was your diagnostic?
156.
156. So 156 to 174. When you think back of your study journey, what do you think were like some of the biggest aha moments that you had as you were studying?
Well, I mean, accepting the demon principles was a pretty big aha moment. I was
Sure.
like, I think I'm just gonna game this test and like I'll use you guys whenever I want to use you guys. But the 168 kind of set me straight on that, which I could dive deeper into that. But I always say the biggest
Please.
aha moment was
Let's hit the aha moment.
there's this video. I think it's titled. It's like 1 year old ish. It's titled "How to Speed Up" or something like that.
Okay.
And Nathan is talking about when you read an answer choice, you have to say, "Did the author do that?"
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, that just hadn't clicked for me yet. Like I would read an answer choice and it would say a generalization that blah blah blah, and I start looking for the generalization
Yeah.
instead of going, is there a generalization?
Sure. Sure.
And so now I can knock it out immediately after seeing generalization instead of going back and going, which one of these is the generalization?
Yeah. Letting the understanding guide your approach to the answer choices, not vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, you can use it for almost any question, like especially when the word strength is different. Like we can support some, but we can't support all. You read, you see all. The author didn't say all, he said some. Knock it out immediately.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. It's interesting to hear, like, because that's part of the things that we always talk about, and it's interesting to hear where those clicks are for some people and how they vary. You said you wanted to talk a little bit about the kind of aha or the wake up moment that came from the 168, and the accepting of the demon principles. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just doing dumb stuff. Like I would skim passage 4. I'd just skim it as fast as possible and then pick answers that sounded right.
Okay.
Like if it sounded like I just read that. So 4 minutes left, I'm answering every question in passage 4 and skimming the passage. And then parallel reasoning, like I'm skipping those. I'm not doing them. Yeah. I'm doing the first 10 questions in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm doing all of that.
All of it.
And yeah. And that's why I had a 168. That's straight up why.
So it's less that your abilities. So was it the fact that your abilities drastically changed between February and April, or more just that your approach to the test changed?
It was both. I mean, I tell my students all the time that you accept these demon principles and you don't have to get any better at the LSAT and your score will increase.
Yeah, it's true.
Like that's a fact.
Absolutely.
You get 0% better and your score will increase when you stop trying to answer every question and you start trying to understand the passage. You just that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the 10 for 10 thing was something that, like, as a competitor, I kind of just put on myself. Like I never even saw that anywhere else. It made sense to me. Like the first 10 are easy. First 10 are easy. Like I'm just gonna bang those out and have extra time. Like I think that's why it's such a prominent thing. But I actually, by not doing that, saved myself $10,000 on my official test. I spent like 3 minutes on number 12 on an LR section on my 174.
Just slowing down because you had to deal with it.
I couldn't get it, but I was like, I'm not leaving.
Nice. I think that's so encouraging for students to hear, because the question that students always want to ask is, well, at what point am I stuck enough to just skip it?
Yeah.
And it's like, especially in practice, let alone an official test, you're not, right? Like work through it, solve it.
Yes.
And figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the answers on the page. I mean, that was another big thing, was like you have everything you need to answer the question, so like the information is right there. Don't be trying to pull extra stuff in and like looking for all this. You have all of the information you need, so put it together.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're stuck, that really helps to just be like, okay, what can I do with what I have? Well, I need to stop trying to pull in extra stuff, and I need to think about what can I do with what I've got.
Yeah, that's great advice. What would you say are some of the most common questions that you see? So you said you're an Ask Button writer. For those maybe unfamiliar, we have, with every question that you do, a whole team. I think we're 20 to 30 people, maybe more, of people who are Ask Button writers. Within 24 hours, they will answer your question about any problem. So Nate, I'm curious to know, what are the most common questions that you see come through the Ask Button?
The most common questions, I mean, I hate to beat the dead horse here, but like confusing sufficient for necessary. People just don't get what a necessary condition is, or they don't recognize a necessary condition. I think a lot of people will recognize necessary and sufficient assumptions earlier, and they don't recognize necessary and sufficient conditions.
Sure.
And they're having trouble recognizing them. And it's not even the fact that they're really confusing them. They just honestly don't even know that they're present.
Right. The hidden, whether they're hidden conditionals or just what.
Yeah, and so they're really confused, and I'm like, well, if you knew that this required this other thing, you would not be confused at all. And they're like, oh, right.
What when you were studying, what was it that got you a good understanding of these conditionals? Is that something you struggled with?
Yeah, it was. I mean, just like everybody else, but I don't know. It wasn't like super rough for me. I kind of just, I hated missing questions. So when I missed one, it was like, I'm figuring out why I missed it, and I'm not doing that again.
Yeah. Wait, I love. Okay, so I love that attitude because I don't think I hear it often enough about students who. I think students become complacent sometimes with missing
Hmm.
questions. This idea or this attitude of hating missing questions. How did that? How did that influence your review process?
It made me want to take it a lot deeper, and I honestly would like to formally apologize to every ass button writer that was on the team whenever I was a student,
Okay.
because I would be like, I would talk to them like they were AI. I'd be like just yelling at them and like putting stuff, just type, not like they're a person. Like I'm just, how could this be wrong? Like this is what I thought. This is why I thought it. That doesn't make sense. They would tell me something. I'm like, nope, different explanation. Nope, different explanation. Like that's how I would talk to them. I feel kind of bad about it, but I wanted to figure out why exactly what I said was wrong. And if they didn't address like the exact thing that I thought, I'm like, no, address exactly what I said, because I want to know exactly why I did it wrong, so I don't do it again.
Yeah.
And then I watched every podcast, every Demon Daily. I would watch the videos, read the explanations, and then I would go through and try to figure out like the logic behind why I was missing it, not just the, oh, I guess that's right, like
Yeah.
that kind of deal.
For sure.
I'd say the one thing that I didn't. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
The one thing that I really struggled with was correlation causation.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, I just could not recognize it for the longest time, and then I didn't know how to attack it. I would just guessing really on correlation causation. It seemed like half the questions I missed, I didn't realize it was there, and I didn't know how to attack it. And I actually saw a video of Nathan again explaining how to attack correlation causation arguments, where you look for an alternate cause or you flip the causation, like that's how you would weaken them.
Yep.
And or you would strengthen them by like vice versa, eliminating one of those. And that's the question that I was stuck on for 3 minutes on my official LSAT. It was a correlation causation flaw, and I was strengthening it by eliminating an alternate cause.
Yeah.
And I thought back to that video that I had seen a week prior, and I solved that question. And so, I mean, you got to go and search, use the Thinking LSAT website there, search for videos, search for articles, and figure out why you're missing things, because it can save you $10,000.
It can save you. And at some schools even more, right? One point, I think we were looking at like Penn. 1 point can be up to $40,000 between their 25th and their 50th percentile grant.
I looked at NYU yesterday with a student.
Okay.
If you have a 4.0,
yep,
the difference between a 173 and a 174 is less than half to a full ride.
Which, like, tens
over $100,000.
Over $100,000. 1 point. One point. And it's crazy. It is, every point counts.
Yeah, and it's wild.
It is. So I think often, going back to this idea of, reviewing deeply, the one that I hear from students all the time about why they can't review deeply is, oh, well, I just misread that. Right? That's, they said, there's nothing really to review. I misread it again. It's fine. What would you say to that student if you were tutoring and they came with that?
Why did you misread it? What did you not stop and understand what the passage said? Like, imagine you had that understanding and then you put that in your head and you read the next sentence. Would you not be like, wait, that doesn't make sense? How could that be? And then you read the conclusion and you're like, that doesn't follow. Mm-hmm. If you didn't stop and take the time to understand each sentence as it came to you, then yeah, you can misread something and it might make sense. But if you do stop and take the time to understand each sentence and how it relates to the next one, those misreadings are going to come back to you. And especially if you're being critical of answer choices, it's just not going to fit. Like, if you misread something, the answer choice is not going to fit in the exact way that it does for the LSAT if you have that misunderstanding. These answer choices are formulated very, very specifically for these questions in these passages. And that's why I hate when students are like, well, what if it said this? It's like, well, there's so many nuances because we'd have to change every little word in the passage. You can't just change like one little word in the answer choice all the time.
Right.
Because they're so specifically like correlated to each other and made off of each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even if you did misread one thing, it's like it probably still doesn't necessarily like equate to the passage in the way that the LSAT would if you're familiar with it.
Right. It probably like it could work, right? Maybe, but
And it's probably not that you misread one thing. It's probably that you misread a lot of different things and that you weren't
sure.
being critical enough of all of it. And so the problem is that you need to go back and be critical of it again and read it through the correct way and drill down that process
Hmm.
of reading questions.
Yeah, I think that's such good advice because when we tell students to read the passage slower, to slow down, engage, make predictions, they start to do it. And then I will have students who will go piece by piece and then they'll get to the answer choices and they'll read all 5 of them without even taking a breath. And it's like, wait a minute. Why did we quit reading that way? Why are we not reading the same way that we read the passage? Like you're going to misread something.
Yeah, and especially if you skip over a word like all that can have so much
Man.
weight on the LSAT or almost or only.
Yeah.
Those words have so much impact. And so when you're reading, you need to take that needs to smack you in the face when you see a word like all or most or some or any kind of indication word like that where the LSAT is going to flip it around and use it to try to trick you.
Yeah.
You need to be stopping and taking what is that? What is the word I'm looking for? You need to like put that in your head. Like you need to notice that word.
Sure. It's tagging it, like putting a sticky note on it. Like
yeah, and
those are
the words that are gonna mess you up. Like when you misread a word, it's one of those words. It's not the filler words. Like I was telling somebody just the other day, it's all the same flaw. It's like a Mad Lib or an ad lib thing. They just fill in the extra background information, but it's all the same flaws. It's all the same logic.
The same
they just
structure.
ad lib all the
same.
background information.
Yep. Yeah. I completely agree.
If you're just like, oh, I don't know anything about like art history, blah blah blah, and like I don't even know what these words mean. Okay, something is correlated with something, therefore something causes something. Like, and something could be 2 full sentences about art history, and you just change it to something, and it's the exact same thing. So students are like, like it's just too wordy, like it's too much, like I don't even know what this stuff means. It's an idea. And then there's LSAT logic, and then there's another idea. You don't really even need to know what the ideas are. Like, they're not expecting you to have any background information on these ideas.
Well, it's funny you say that because Nate's even given the advice of replacing words that you don't know with the word something. Gave that advice to a student. I don't remember what the word was, but it said like, these things are something. And I said, just say something. And she's like, well, I don't know that word. What if I need to know that word? I said, just try it. Places it with something, goes on, and it's like never mentions that word again. Not once. I mean, that's literally Nate's advice is just say the word something, and you will find that oftentimes like those details, that information is not as critical as you think.
That's another big one on the ask button. I've given that advice a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
To just pop in something when people are like, oh, what? I didn't know what this word meant. You didn't really need to.
Right. You don't. Well, yeah. And it's interesting because it's this weird, like convergence of understand every word, but also like if there is a word that is super technical, just replace it with something, understand how that applies to the passage, and go see what the rest of the passage is saying.
Right. Yeah, you have all the information you need.
You do.
But I will say your vocab will definitely increase if you're studying the right way. My girlfriend was like, why are you talking like that? Stop talking like that. I'm like, I can't help it. That like my vocabulary just got bigger.
It is. It absolutely is. And words that you thought you knew that then you realize you don't actually know as well as you thought you knew. Yeah. If you miss a problem that because you thought you knew a word and it had more like you're like, I don't understand this, go look up those words because you probably didn't know it as well as you thought.
Dude, I can't remember if it was consistent or inconsistent. Let's just say it was inconsistent. I guess the actual meaning of inconsistent just means not consistent. Consistent. Consistent means not inconsistent.
Not incompatible. Yeah.
And I was just like, because I missed a question because it was like, oh, these 2 things are consistent. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'd call them consistent or not. Like yeah, sure they happen sometimes together, but like consistent seems kind of strong. And then I didn't pick it, and I go into the answer choices and just like, no, it just means not inconsistent. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't know that. I thought it meant they were like tied together.
You do. We do now, right?
Yeah, and that was a big one because I was really mad when I missed that question.
Sure. Oh man, that feeling when you got one wrong and you're like, well, there's no way that's wrong, and then you look up a word and you go, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, dude, and people will be like, so what does this word mean on the LSAT? And it's like, well, it's actually what that word means in like the definition of that word. But in real life, we just use it differently. But it's not like the LSAT uses this word. That's the definition of the word. We just don't use it that way.
Right. That's a great point.
And so people will always ask that. What's this mean on the LSAT? Well, just whatever it means, like in the Webster's dictionary is what it means.
That's what it means. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if you had to leave one piece of parting advice that you want people to take away from your experience, what would it be?
I'll do two.
Okay,
one from LR and one from RC.
Love it.
For RC, I would say connect the information you read to the information you've already read. Just connect it back together, synthesize it, and see if you can get new information out of it. Because a lot of times, must be truths and stuff like that, or come from those.
Yep.
When you can synthesize information together.
Okay.
And then for LR, I'm going. Does the argument do that? That was a plus 5 point increase for me. Does the argument do that?
Just plain and simple. Is this answer choice actually something the argument does?
Did that happen? Was it stated? Did the author do that? Did it actually? I was in a class yesterday. We were talking about causes. The answer choice said function, and a lot of people missed it. Did the author ever talk about function? No.
Nope.
They were talking about causes. Everything else was pretty similar except for that one word.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, looking at the whole thing. Nope. Did the author do function? Nope, he didn't. All right, that's out. So did the author do that? That was 170 to 174 for me for sure.
Big jump. Awesome. Well, Nate, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your experience, sharing your stories. If you're looking for a tutor, Nate is available, and you can always catch him over on our Ask button. Nate, thanks so much. For everybody else, if you have any questions for Nate, or you have a success story that you want to tell, please feel free to email us at daily@lsatdemon.com. Thanks for listening.